Let's talk about it!
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Eboni Rainey Haynes.
And I'm Danesha Williams.
If this is your first time, welcome. If not, let's talk about it. Let's go ahead and get into it. You already know, grab your wine. We're about to talk about it. So today, we're going to be talking about infidelity and trust. What does that look like? What does it mean to us? What does it even mean to you? Like, always go down in the comments. Let us know what infidelity and trust mean to you. But let's just get into it, Danesha.
Absolutely. So, Eboni, question for you. What does infidelity look like to you? And do you think it can only be physical or can it be emotionally too?
Oh, two-part question. So for the first part, what does infidelity look like to me?
Yeah.
Infidelity looks like what it sounds like. A whole mess. No, let me get no. Infidelity to me just means that you're doing something that's going against your morals and your values and your integrity of your relationship and whatever that looks like to you. Because if you step outside of a relationship that has nothing to do with your spouse, your partner, that's infidelity. I don't care if it's emotional or physical, because to me, anything again outside of your relationship is infidelity to me, or some form of like cheating, and it caused me to not trust you. It's a form of mistrust. So to touch a little more on your second part of your question, is it could be emotional or physical? It could be both. And to me, I feel emotional is more in depth and more serious than physical.
Why?
To me, because for me, I'm an emotional person. So for me to connect with you emotionally, to even get to physical intimacy, I have to connect with you emotionally. And so that creates soul ties. That creates a deeper connection than just, oh, let me just have a one night stand with you and, call it a day.
Right.
But when you go outside of your relationship and create an emotional connection, that's something that that makes you rely on that person. I feel. What do you think?
No, that's definitely great insight. Very insightful. I agree with you 1,000%. Infidelity to me is, just stepping outside of the boundaries of the relationship that you guys set for yourself. So I'm going to actually answer that second piece, but I have a question for you. The second piece to that question is, I think, it can definitely be physical and emotional because, I think both of them play a role together, right? You have to get to one to get to the other. When it comes down to it. So if that's the case, what about polygamy relationships? Like, what's your thoughts surrounding that?
I'm not sharing nothing.
Got it.
Okay? I'm not sharing nothing. However, I understand that everybody have a perspective to how they want to live their life.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. It may not align with my beliefs and my morals, but I don't share. And it's not because, I don't believe in it. Hey, if it works for y'all, do it. But it's because I know I may be jealous.
Yeah.
I may not like that you're spending too much time with Candace. I want all of your time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I feel. I'm not sharing because of what comes with sharing.
Yeah.
Not because I wouldn't be opposed to sharing.
Yeah.
I just don't want to because I don't want those issues.
No, I agree. I don't want to smoke, but
okay.
Nonetheless, and I don't want to create it either. But what I'm really saying here is, I agree with you 1,000%. Like, I definitely don't believe in sharing. I feel like if you mind, you mind. Like, that's just what it comes down to. And I am crazy.
Thank you. No, not kidding.
A little bit crazy, but I agree with you, Em. So thank you for sharing that insight for me.
Yeah, and just to touch on the crazy part.
Yeah.
I always tell my husband, I say, we cuckoo for Coco. Like, I tell him, I say, you cuckoo for Coco. He cuckoo, I'm Coco. He cuckoo for me. Right. And vice versa. I'm cuckoo for Coco because at the end of the day, I feel like everybody have a little crazy in them. Just a little crazy.
Yeah.
And especially when you don't have the mindset to want to share, you more crazier than the person that will.
You taking my stuff?
So, Danesha,
Yeah.
say you had infidelity in your relationship.
Yeah.
Hypothetically.
Okay.
And how do you think you would build if you decided to, hey, I'm gonna accept him back? How do you rebuild that trust?
Absolutely. So, as a human being, it's kind of hard to like trust someone after they kind of show you not to trust them. But at the same time, I think you have to have a mentality of like, if this is something you really want. You know what I'm saying? Because just like, you know, men can fall short and women can fall short, it's like, who are we to say, okay, this person, you know, be gone from me, right? But at the same token, you really want to set the proper boundaries, like reinstating that relationship, right? By just kind of going through the motions again, like restarting again, and finding out what was the root, what caused that person to have to go that way.
I agree.
Not saying there's an excuse in that space, but at the same time, we don't understand what it looks like from a psychological standpoint. We just see what happens in a physical standpoint.
I agree. Digging a little deeper. Yeah. And I can say for me, just in past experience, I have accepted someone that has been, you know, whether it's entertaining someone or I wouldn't say I did experience someone that, you know, cheated physically.
Right.
But both, you know, on both sides. And I have accepted them back. And one thing that I've learned from accepting the person that I did was when I do accept them back, I have to let go of what I accepted them from. Because if I don't, it's going to linger into our relationship, which it did.
Right.
And I also learned too that it did not take away from him as a person, because he's still a good person, you know. But on the flip side of it too, you know, I had to heal and grow so I can build that trust again. Now, I do feel when you're in a marriage, it's different.
Yeah, definitely.
And from my perspective, because I have not experienced infidelity in my marriage, I can't really say what I would do per se.
Yeah.
But just speaking off the top of my dome, I don't know how I would feel about that, because I feel like when you're in a marriage, it's more sacred, it's more commitment, and it comes a lot with it. And so for you to step outside of our commitment that we pledge under God, that's a totally different ball game. Like, how do I trust you? I don't want to be in a relationship where I have to check your phone, where I have to check your location every 5 minutes and make sure you say where you're at.
Right.
I don't want to be in that type of relationship. So for me, I constantly tell myself, what can I do to be a better me, to make my relationship work, to meet the desires of my husband, and vice versa. So communicating with him, understanding his needs, and listening. And that's an ongoing thing. To not get to infidelity and mistrust, but I feel as though working on those things and maintaining a partnership and understanding that we are human, we do make mistakes, I think you can get through some of those hurdles where temptation may arise.
So let me just pause and ask you a question on that. So you're saying there is a difference between being married and being in a relationship, because you said, for example, you experienced that, and myself, of course, I've experienced that as well, right? But at the same token, you said marriage is more sacred because of that vow, that commitment, right? But the relationship piece, I'm not saying it's not sacred, but it's just not.
It's easier to depart.
Okay.
I think it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Because when you get married, and you'll see, because she's a whole fiance, right?
I know it.
So once you get married, people always ask, do it seem different? Yes, mentally, spiritually, it's different, because you pick and choose how you want to communicate once you get married. You like, you know what? I'm not going to have that conversation. It's not even that deep. And we're not going anywhere. As opposed to if we was just boyfriend and girlfriend, you know, one heated conversation can make me leave. You know, in the relationship. So it's like it's a different dynamic when you're married. Mentally, you think a little bit more like, oh, let me not say that. Oh, they got that. You know, it's different.
You kind of filter through it. So then I'll ask this. Let's just say, for example, do you feel like when a person is cheated on, it makes them look at them differently? And when I'm asking that question, for example, your experience with that person, right? Did it make you look at that person differently after that?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Because again, it comes with that trust, my emotional capacity. Like, do I have the capacity to trust this person? Do I have this capacity to even communicate how I truly feel? Because one thing that I remember that person told me, in the beginning, like, oh, if you ever cheat on me, I'm gonna get you back, or like blah blah blah, even though that was like red flag number one. Right. But I'm just saying, it's like that always stayed in my head. So right. It's like, okay, you cheated, do you think I'm gonna cheat on you now? So it's like understanding the mentality and like, I don't know. It's just hard to go through that and experience that and move past that. Right. So my thing is just don't do it. Yeah. Because we're all human. We all have feelings. We're going to have to heal through any type of trauma, whether that's infidelity or just, lying about finances. It can go deep,
That's a good question. I'm conclude with this question. You can cut that part off. Is that, do you think women get away with it more than men when it comes to cheating?
Okay, that's a good question. So I'm not gonna say women get away with it per se. Okay. I think women are just smarter when they do things. And I'm saying that, not saying it's okay. I don't condone it. I'm not a cheater. Look, I'm not a cheater. Right. But women are smarter with their moves. And 9 times out of 10, if a woman is going to cheat, she's cheating because it took some time to get to that. Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, she's probably emotionally connected now to whoever she's cheating with. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm just speaking in general. Right. Not everybody's the same. Of course, there's some people that could just cheat physically and go back to their mate and they still love their mate and they don't really care about that person. Got it. But on the flip side of things, women are just more smarter. Men don't think clearly. They just 9 times out of 10 they cheat because of physical attraction initially, and then they're to me, I feel like it's backwards from us. Yeah. We women, if we were to cheat, it's because we're emotionally connected now. Something he's not doing at home that's allowing me to connect with this man. Right. As opposed to the man, he physically attracted to this woman. Right. He's like, oh shoot. And then over time, if you continue that physical connection, you're going to probably develop emotion. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. What do you think? Just to kind of close it out, how do you feel overall just about the whole infidelity trust thing?
I definitely think that we definitely covered a lot of ground when it came to it, but I think all in all, it's just making the right decisions, right? What makes sense for your relationship dynamic? Like you said, like I don't know what their situation looks like, but ultimately you just want to choose the right path. You want to choose what feels right. And I know sometimes when you're in those situations, it might not feel right. And I think that just trying to think, what would you want your partner to do? Yes. And then that would just kind of
look, or what would Jesus do?
What would Jesus do? When all fails, what would Jesus do?
Yes. Okay, so y'all, thank y'all for let's talking about it with us. If you have any questions or comments, always send them to us.
In the comments below.
Yes, in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share with a friend. So until next time, bye. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.